Hey guys, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital recap for Wednesday, January 6th. So let's get right into it here. JP Morgan says Bitcoin could rise to $146,000 long term as it competes with gold. So JP Morgan said Bitcoin could rally as high as $146,000, and the Bitcoin volatility would need to drop substantially before it can match gold in terms of market value. The bank strategist said in a note on Monday. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon once called Bitcoin a fraud and said he's more interested in blockchain technology than crypto. Yeah, so I always get a little worried when JP Morgan starts coming out and stating their opinions on what they think is going on in the crypto market. I do have this article pulled up from last time when Jamie Dimon commented on September 13th of 2017, said Bitcoin won't end well. Wall Street titan Jamie Dimon says he'll fire anyone trading virtual currency because it's a fraud. So this guy says he'll fire anybody that's trading virtual currency because it's a fraud, and then he'll make his own coin called the JPM coin, and then he'll come out and say once Bitcoin's at an all-time high that it could go to, $100,000 plus. That makes me very skeptical, especially now in the market with Bitcoin trading about $35,000. We can go ahead and take a look at the chart here, and let's pull this up here. So yeah, so Bitcoin right now $34,547 makes me a little worried. You know, I I think last time when Jimmy made his comment, he was just pushing the price down to go ahead and get more Bitcoin. And now that JP Morgan's came out and said this statement, it makes me a little skeptical because now with the price being so high, that will encourage a lot more people to jump into the market, especially retail traders. And you got to think that institutions have already been here for quite a while, so they're looking at roughly over an 800% gain right now. And then all of a sudden, Jamie Dimon comes out. So I'm a little weary, but we'll see if Bitcoin continues on its upswing here. I do feel like there has to be a correction sometime soon. So we'll see what happens. But Jamie Dimon, I don't trust a word of what that guy says. And let's go on to the next story. So next we have the U.S. federal regulator says banks can conduct payments using stablecoins. And so federally regulated banks can use stablecoins to conduct payments and other activities, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency said Monday. So the federal banking regulator published an interpretive letter addressing whether national banks and federal savings associations could participate in independent node verification networks, otherwise known as blockchain networks, or use stablecoins. The letter said these financial institutions can participate as nodes on a blockchain and store or validate payments. Any banks that do participate in an INVN must be aware of the operational compliance or fraud risk when doing so, an OCC press release warned. So that's pretty big news for the cryptocurrency space as a whole, now that the federal regulators are saying that banks can use stable coins. There's already USD coin out, there's Tether, which came under some fire recently, just because people are questioning if they have all of the Tether backed by actual dollars. But for the crypto space in general, this is huge, and especially with Kraken becoming the first crypto bank in the U.S., I believe Coinbase will probably be soon to follow. And so, for the crypto space, this is fantastic news, and I think that we will see more and more banks adopt crypto and blockchain technology as we proceed into 2021. And there's just been a massive amount of news, but let's go to the next article right now, coming from Grayscale. So we covered this in a couple of videos ago. So Grayscale, this just came out on January 5th. So Grayscale Dumps Xrp. Here's where it's putting the cash. And I feel like these articles can be a little misleading because it says Grayscale dumped XRP, but unless you really dive into what's going on in the article, you're probably going to miss it, and that's going to freak out a lot of investors. And so when it says that Grayscale is dumping their XRP, it basically says that they got rid of a small portion of their holdings in a certain fund. So it says Grayscale Investments, the world's largest cryptocurrency asset manager, announced Tuesday that it has liquidated its XRP holdings and used the remaining funds to buy up more Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. It says that the decision affects Grayscale's digital large cap fund, a market cap weighted asset that provides exposure to the largest cryptocurrencies by market cap. So prior to the sale on Monday, XRP accounted for roughly 1.46% of the digital large cap fund. So that's very insignificant, when it comes to their total holdings. Because if we remember in the last video that we did, um, Cointelegraph came out and said, faulty data, Grayscale didn't liquidate massive amounts of XRP and XLM. So it's weird. On December 31st, they came out and said that they didn't liquidate, and this came directly from a Grayscale spokesperson, which confirmed to Cointelegraph that the fund manager did not dump massive stakes of XRP and XLM. They actually ended up buying on, I believe it was December 31st or January 1st. They bought a massive amount. And so if you don't dig deep into it, they just removed XRP from one portion of their funds, but they still hold a large chunk of XRP. So we can see here on Twitter, Crypto Mommy, I follow her. She's got a lot of really good information she tweets out, but she also called this out too. And she wrote in a tweet and says, laugh my ass off. So you mean to tell me that Grayscale buys 12 million XRP on New Year's Eve while nobody is looking, but now it's being removed because it has no value and they don't want to risk it? Yeah, okay. And it's true, right? So they ended up, they still hold a huge position of XRP, but you wouldn't know that unless you actually really dug deep. So if we scroll down here, it says they basically still hold 38 million XRP. And they were one of the biggest buyers on that dip when all the FUD was coming out, or I shouldn't say FUD, but all the lawsuits came out for XRP and Ripple from the SEC. So they went ahead and they went and bought the dip, and then they're basically saying that they're getting rid of XRP and XLM, which would have been a pretty massive mistake because XLM has just gone on a awesome tear here. If we go over here to XLM, let's click on them. So XLM this week alone went from 12 cents to roughly 39 cents here. And so had you got in on that, you would have been looking at roughly a 225% gain on XLM. As we mentioned, XLM was picked up by the Ukraine and Germany earlier in December to start using XLM Stellar Lumens as a segue into their stable coins. And so that was huge news for them. And obviously the price rocketed and exploded. Even today, it's still up 65%, which is massive. So and there's another coin that I've been looking at as well. And I actually put this out in our newsletter, I want to say back in November. This is Telcoin. And so Telcoin essentially is a remittance payment system similar to XRP. And they are working with a lot of the mobile service providers to allow people to transfer money via their phone. So it's called Telcoin. It's a very interesting project. They're supposed to have some pretty big releases coming out later this month. All right, so I just pulled up the Telcoin year-end update. And so it says, Dear Telcoin community, hope this update finds you and your family well in these unprecedented times. It's been a crazy year. And it goes on to say that they built two parallel products that, once brought together in 2021, will enable us not only to compete with traditional remittance players, but also centralized finance systems in general across the globe and in a non-custodial, decentralized way. Of course, others in our space are trying to do just that, but I believe Telcoin is in position to win for a number of reasons. And so they go on to say that they've built the right technology infrastructure. They've made the decision to split into two distinct tracks in an early stage, crypto rails and exchange on one side and fiat remittance on the other. And so they've been able to successfully partner with major telecom and mobile money companies, and while staying in the good graces of their respective regulatory authorities. And so Telcoin is one of the few crypto companies that is fully embracing the U.S. market and compliance with U.S. regulation. And so that's some of the stuff that clearly XRP is running into, or at least they're waiting on clarity for. And it says, we have a great brand in Telcoin and a great long-term strategy in aligning ourselves with mobile telecom industries and mobile network operators globally. And so it says there's a fifth factor here, which is the team that they've assembled. And so, yeah, really interesting project. If we look at some of the people that they've worked with, let's see if I can go ahead and pull up some of the partners here. So I pulled up the Telcoin website here, and you can see, like as mentioned before, they're going after remittances, instant transfers, mobile convenience. So Telcoin works with the mobile operators and e-wallets globally, allowing us to reach a broad base of users. And it looks like their app is pretty good. I haven't used it yet, but I do own Telcoin. I was buying it a couple months ago, so the profit's been really nice on it. and it shows that they've partnered with GSMA, Gcash, which is huge overseas. And so, if they are working with all the regulators like they say they are, and they have all these partners lined up, Telcoin could be huge for the remittance market. And they are solving a real world problem, which is, getting money from the unbanked to other unbanked people with just their phone and using their actual cryptocurrency to do so. So definitely would keep an eye out for this project. We can see over here, I did mention it in our newsletter, which you can find on Substack. I came here and we mentioned this as one of the coins to look out for, I believe, at the time here. So here, key cryptos to watch. So at the time, it was trading at roughly 0.00016 cents. It was down 70% from a nice little rise there. And so if we go ahead and check out the Telcoin market now, we can see that from that time, that 0.0016 roughly, it just took off from there. So right now, you would have been looking at roughly a 127% gain on your money, and it looks like this market still has a lot left to go. Whether it retraces or not, I guess has yet to be seen, but it's still so early. I mean, this coin came out in 2018, right around the time the bull market was basically just finishing up. Essentially, you can see all the way back here. And so right now, I mean, this market is so new, and it won't be long before we're just into complete price discovery. So definitely want to keep a lookout for Telcoin, and I think that will do it. So this wraps up our edition of the Encrypted Capital recap for Wednesday, January 6th. Feel free to like or drop a comment if you like what you heard, and we will catch you all in the next video.